everyone, welcome to Off Topic Tuesday. Today I will be talking about one of my favorite tabletop role-playing games. It is called Burning Wheel. Well, technically, The Burning Wheel. This is a fantasy role-playing game that was developed by Luke Crane and Dan Abram, and there are two books. There's the main book and then there's a codex. So the thing that I really like about Burning Wheel is that it allows you to be more realistic. It's still fantasy, so there's still fantasy races. There's humans, elves, dwarves, orcs in the main book, and then in the codex there's also great wolves, dark elves, and like a rat folk, and I think trolls. So, it's still fantasy, but it allows you to be more realistic when building your character because instead of being a certain class, you have a certain number of life paths which detail the path your character has taken through life. So you could be you could build your character several different ways. You could build like a human prince that took using different life paths. Um, right now in my current campaign, I'm playing an elven princess who actually was started out as like a rider, so she has a lot of like horse related skills. So you could also build an elven prince that was mostly military focused. There's multiple ways to do it. Um, And each life path gives you like a certain number of years and a certain number of skill points and a certain number of skills associated with it. So, depending on which life path you pick, you will get different skills. So, my elven princess has different skills than like a military based elven prince or princess because of the different life paths, which is part of what makes it realistic. The places you go in life give you the skills that you use in life. Um, Another thing that I really like about it is that the skills can help each other. So it's a D6 system, and each of your skills are based on a stat. In that way, it is similar to D&D. You have 6 stats, and your skills are all based off of 1 or 2 stats. So, like, you have power instead of strength, and maybe you have the hauling skill, which is based in power. So, if you have 4 power, that means when you roll power, you roll 4d6. And you take half of the stat to for your skills that are based in that stat. So, if you had hauling, that would be 2d6. Um, but you could have you could if you need to roll hauling, you can use your fields of related knowledge or forks, which are other skills that could help you. um, for example, I can't think of any for hauling, but if you're trying to persuade someone of something, your main skill would be persuasion, but you could fork in oratory because how well you talk could impact how persuasive you are. You could fork in if they're noble, you could use noble wise, which is basically you know things about. It's a knowledge-based skill about nobles. Um, you can use haggling when you're trying to buy something, and that will, if you succeed, that will bring the price down. So I really like this system because your skills are applicable um, and used in basically every situation, and um, different characters have different skills and based on the life paths you have, and there are so many skills. Um, I mentioned noble wise earlier, and is a whole section of skills called wises, which is basically knowledge about things. My elven princess has horse wise and riding wise because she knows a lot about horses, and those skills tell that about her character. Um, there are also traits that you buy in character creation. Well, you buy some of them, others you get from the life paths you took, and those traits help round out your character. Um, for example, my elven princess has a trait that is smells like a horse because one of her life paths is rider. So she spent a lot of time with horses, and now she just she always smells like a horse. That's one of her traits. Um, and traits are really complicated. This system is a lot more complex, but it is a lot more realistic. So I appreciate the complexity. Um, let's see what else. Oh, yeah. So you don't level up per se. You can increase how good you are at skills by using them. So when you need to roll a skill, like you are trying to get a discount on buying a new wagon wheel because your wagon wheel broke, and you want to haggle with the merchant, um, you would roll haggling, but the GM would give you an obstacle, and that obstacle is basically how hard it is. It's generally between like 1 and 9. And what the obstacle is well, the obstacle determines the type of test you get. There are routine tests, which are like easy peasy. You could kind of basically do them in your sleep. There are difficult tests, and then there are challenging tests. And based on the exponent of your skill, how many dice you have base. So if you sorry, I lost my train of thought. If depending on how many dice you have, like 2, if you have 2 dice in a skill, then you would need a certain number of routine, a certain number of difficult, or a certain number of challenging to advance it to 3. And there are rules for advancing, of course, which are complicated, so I won't go into that. But the skills that you use more often, you will advance more quickly, and they will end up higher than the skills that you never use. But of course, you still have the skills even if you never use them. So if a situation comes up where you need to do something that you've never done before, but you just so happen to have the skill, you at least have a chance to succeed, which is another thing that I like. Also, other characters can help you if they have a skill. Sorry, ignore my cat. Um, I don't know if you can hear him. Um, but if other characters have a skill that could help, then they can help, and they also get a test for advancement. Um, so that's like an incentive to work together to overcome the obstacle. Um, and then there's also each character has beliefs and instincts, which beliefs are goals that your character has, and instincts are how your character reacts to a situation. typically you have 3 of each, but you can have traits that give you another belief or another instinct or something. Um, and if you play your character well, or at least in an interesting way, you earn Artha, which can help you in the game. So, kind of circling back to obstacles, you have your pool of dice from your forks and your help and everything, and you have the obstacle. If you base skills are black shade, which means that you need a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed. You can have gray shade skills, which means that you succeed on a 3 or higher. Or you can have white shade, which is really rare, it's really hard to get, and that means you succeed on 2 or higher. So you roll the dice, and if you get a number of successes greater than or equal to the obstacle, you succeed. If you don't succeed, if you fail but you're close, you can use Artha to try and twist fate in your favor. So there is Fate, which is most easily earned. Well, Fate and Persona are both easily earned. Um, Deeds points are really hard to earn. They're earned basically by doing a huge selfless act that has a huge impact on the world. You can earn Fate and Persona super easily through your beliefs and your instincts. Beliefs more often than instincts, but you can earn them through instincts as well. So Fate, Persona, and Deeds points can help you in situations where you fail, but you're a little bit close. Um, so, like I said, this system is really complicated, but it's more realistic. And I really like it because it makes it easier, at least for me, to roleplay as the character because you describe how your forks are helping you and it's a lot easier to do things that aren't just fighting, which is kind of a weakness of D&D. It's kind of built for fighting monsters, which isn't a bad thing. It can be fun. Um, but sometimes you want to do things that aren't fighting monsters. And Burning Wheel allows you to do both in a more realistic, easier to roleplay way. Again, this is all my opinions, but I think it's really fun. So, if that super long-winded description makes it sound interesting to you, check it out. Um, I'm sure you can buy a PDF of the rulebook somewhere, maybe find it in a gaming store. Um, but yeah, thanks for listening to me talk about Burning Wheel for Off Topic Tuesday. As always, this video is to raise awareness for the GoFundMe I made for my sister. As I said yesterday, they do have enough money to pay for January's rent, but they still need the money to help with the medical bills from the accident. If you want more information about what happened, check out last week's Off Topic Tuesday video where I describe it in detail. You can also check out the link in the description, which is to the GoFundMe. As a reminder, anyone who donates will be able to suggest a topic for Off Topic Tuesday. So if you want me to talk about something, give us um, give a donation and you can suggest it. It doesn't have to be big, even $5 would help her. All right, thank you, and I will talk to you later.